So, what is MCP? Basically, MCP nothing like a model context protocol, an open standard for connecting AI agents to your tools and data. So, what exactly it means? So, let's take an example of USB Type C. So, previously, what happened when we don't have the USB Type C? Every phone or every laptop or any other device has their specific ports, and for a specific port, there are specific cables to connect another device. But after Type C, we have a universal port, and using that universal port, we can connect multiple devices with same port. So MCP is something like that only. So let's say before MCP, if we have to connect with the Snowflake, Databricks, ticketing connector, any platform you can think of, there will be a different connection you have to set up. You have to create different agents, or you can say you have to set up multiple APIs to connect with them. But after MCP, you have one protocol. Any compliance system that has capability can connect to that protocol. So we can say any agent can connect to any platform if it is going via MCP. So MCP is vendor neutral. What it means, MCP does not maintained or taken care by only a single organization. It is taken care by Linux Foundation since 2025, and it is already broadly adopted. So this is widely, most of the applications are already using MCP, so we can trust it and we can see other benefits in upcoming slides. So basically how MCP works. There are three pieces in MCP. First one is the MCP server, then MCP client, and the model. So what MCP server? When you talk about uh, data platforms, something like Snowflake, Databricks, they have your data. Okay. Now to access that data, might be you will use some APIs, but there is another way where these kind of platform providing you MCP servers. What MCP servers has, they have their your data plus tools. So you can directly connect with their tools using MCP server, and you can access their live data. So that is your MCP server. And after that, we have MCP client. So what MCP client is? Basically, MCP client is some application that you are building to interact with some other platforms. So it could be your agent, it could be your mobile application, it could be your web application. So any application that has capability to connect with the MCP server, that is your client. Now, let's say user is asking some query. So your query will not directly go to the MCP server. There is model in between. So what model will do? It could be your any AI model. So what exactly model will do? Model will take your query. It will check what are the tools that MCP server has, and based on your query, it will call those specific tools. So these are the three pillars you can say of MCP to work with. So we can see the same in the diagram as well. So you have one agent that is connected via MCP protocol, and there is one platform. You can say this is MCP server that has three tools: query, save, get schema, run report. And this could be your any platform, your Snowflake platform, your Databricks platform, or your DB, or anything else. So your agent will just give your query to the MCP protocol. MCP protocol pass your query to the MCP server. It will just check like what are the tools are required to get the data for your query. It will just return those to your AI agent, and yeah, that's it. So this is how MCP works. Okay. Now coming to like why enterprises care about this MCP, or why should enterprises use the MCP servers? So first of all, as we discussed, there is no custom code per system. That means you don't have to write any code to perform any action. That is totally taken by care by your platform. That means you just have to focus on your agents, your application, and the in the system you want to interact with user only. Okay. So rest of the things taken care by your platform and its MCP server. So so there is no custom code per system, so you can build any number of agent, any number of application. The backend or the platforms will remain same. You don't have to worry about that. So one approach across every platform, the same thing. Whether it is Snowflake, Databricks, and more, the same protocol will be there, and you just have to connect your agents with that protocol. After that, we have like build once, reuse them anywhere. So you can build your one agent, and you can use the same agent with your Snowflake. You can use the same agent with your Databricks as well. And we already discussed about it is vendor neutral, so you don't have to worry about this is taken care by specific vendor or this is taken care by Linux Foundation. So you just have to focus on your agents or the functionality you want rather than focusing on how to implement. And fit fragmented estates, like you can run both platforms or multiple platform at the same time. So this is that only. So what is the problem that MCP is trying to solve? So your models are already smart enough. Okay, but the problem here is your models can't take decisions. That means your models don't have exposure, or your models don't see your live data. So models are blind to your data. That means whatever lives in your Snowflake Databricks is blind to your model. So you have to connect somehow with your platforms. So every connection is hand built, like we previously discussed as well. Uh, so for every system, you have to build multiple agent. So in every platform, let's say there are 10 operations, you have to build 10 separate agents. So that is another problem. And it breaks constantly. That means, let's say today you are building some API, you are building a system, and you are using some APIs given by your platform. And after 10 days, that API just got changed, or some parameters got changed. So your API will start breaking. But after MCP, you don't have to worry about these things. You just have to focus on your agents. Uh, After that, pilot stall here means let's say you are building or giving any impressive demos today, but later on, when you go to the production after 1 month, got things got changed on the platform side, so your system will start breaking there. So you can think of like if you have m number of platforms, you have to build n number of agents to access their functionalities. So it is like n cross m brittle integrations. To solve this problem, MCP comes into the picture. How MCP fixes it? From n cross m integration, it will convert this to n plus m connections. So let's say you have 4 platforms. You have Git repo, you have database, you have Slack, you have files. Okay. Now you want to use all these platforms into your different applications. Let's say chat applications, one of your IDE, or you want to use this as an agent. Okay, now one way that the problem was we discussed, you will build connections with each platform. Okay, but that is something like if you gonna add new platforms, new agents or new application, that number of connections you have to build. But after MCP, there is one layer in between, that is one MCP protocol. You just have to connect your application with that protocol. Okay, and after that, that protocol will talk to your platforms. It will resolve your queries. It will get the answer for your queries. So this is how n plus m connections work. Okay, moving forward. So maybe some of you are thinking like if we already have custom APIs, we can use that as well to connect with the platforms. Okay, but think of it like the number of actions you want to perform, those that the same number of APIs you will be needing, same number of connections you will be needing. So this is again n cross m maintenance. Okay, or maybe another thing is you can think of like fine tuning the model. Okay, uh, let's say today you are building or today you are fine tuning a model, the data you have currently or till date. Okay, but as the fine tuning done, okay, your model is still. That means you don't have access to the live data, so fine tune will not work. RAG applications are very good at reading the documents, but this is not good at decision making, means, or you cannot perform any actions, or you cannot give any task to them. Okay, so after all these things, MCP come into the picture. So you can using MCP, you can uh, start using their tools. You can access their live data, you can reuse them. So all of the problems that we discussed previously can be taken care by MCP only. Okay, moving forward. uh, Now, whenever we talk about any integrations, security comes first. Okay, so how MCP is secure? MCP itself don't provide any security, but your platforms provide the security. That means you don't have to worry about the security, or you don't have to worry about implementation of any security on your end. Let's say you are using a Snowflake platform. Okay, in the Snowflake, every user has their own roles, or every user has limited access based on their role. So before calling any tool, MCP or the tool itself or your platform itself, check the permissions for that user. Okay, we will see the same in our demo as well. Okay, so agent use your credentials. It never has more access than the human behind it. So if I'm using the MCP server, in if I'm using my credentials in the MCP, the permission that I can use from the UI, the same permissions MCP has. Okay, so the platform enforces permission decision at the data layer on every call. That means on every call we are checking the permission. It is not like that you have built the MCP server once, and after that you can like every call will use the same session or permissions. No, so on every call we are checking the permissions, or MCP server is checking the permissions. Every tool call is logged. So most of the platform provide logging itself, but if they are not, we can log every call, so that on the latest date, if we have to check the logs or for any audit trail, so we can check those as well. Least privileged. So it is always recommend while building the tools and while giving the access to the users, only expose those tools to the user which they actually need. Okay, if there are four tools, we don't have to provide access to all the four tools to the user. You can simply provide one or two tools access which actually is needed. Okay, next, moving forward. Okay, most enterprises don't run a one data platform, obviously. Let's say if we talk about enterprises like banks or BFSI systems, okay, enterprises, they have multiple integrations with different platforms, maybe Snowflake, Databricks, they have their own warehouses, as SaaS systems, S3, Postgres, maybe more than that. Okay, so after MCP, you don't have to worry about that. So only a single agent can connect with your MCP, and that MCP can connect all platforms. So you don't have to worry about how many platforms are there. You just have to focus on your agent. So this is the beauty of MCP. Okay. And you can, like, here also you can see there is one agent, only one protocol, one MCP, and there are number of platforms that is communicating with that. Okay. Now, moving forward, let's get started with the live demo. Will not take much time on the theories. Okay. So for today's demo, I have taken some dummy data for one of the bank. Okay, let's say that is Meridian National Bank. Okay, 100% synthetic data, nothing real. Okay, so we'll see how your application behaves when no agent is connected. Okay, or no platform is connected. We'll see how the Snowflake respond when you pass the query. How the tools get selected when you pass different queries. Okay, we'll see everything, and we'll also see how the security is there. We have implemented the security. So, okay. This is one of the application you can say that we have built. Okay. So this is MCP data agent. You can call it as application. You can call it as agent only. Okay. We have two roles here for the demo purpose. One is the admin role and another one is the junior analyst role. So admin role has full access to all the tools, all the platforms, but the junior analyst has some limited access. Maybe you can say some like out of 10, it has access to only 5 tools. Okay. So after that, we have two MCP server. One is the Snowflake and other one is the Databricks. Okay. Uh, Now moving forward, let me pass some queries. Okay. Just give me a second. Okay. Now this is our Okay, before executing any query, let me walk you through with the data what it has. So if we talk about the bank's data, it has some customers data, it has transactions data, it has fraud alerts data, it has some complaints data. So all the data present in Snowflake and Databricks only. Okay. So now I'm asking as a end user, how many fraud alerts did we confirm as fraud last quarter? Okay, so let's see how this behave when we don't have any server connected. Okay, so simply my model is saying I don't have access to any data right now. No data source is connected. Now let's connect Snowflake first. And as soon as I connected the Snowflake, I can see there are three tools binded to our Snowflake. First one is the bank analyst, and another one is the complaint analyst, and third one is the run SQL. So the purpose of bank analyst is to analyze the transactions data. Complaint analyst to analyze the complaints data, and run SQL will actually run your SQL queries on your Snowflake platform to get the real live data. Okay, so let's get started. I will ask the same question again. So querying via MCP, we'll see how it fetches the tool. Agent is calling MCP tool. We have some reasoning. Okay. So you can see it is saying I will go ahead and call the bank analyst tool with my question now. So it chooses bank analyst tool for this query. So we can see Snowflake from the bank analyst tool has been called. We have some results from the MCP tool, basically the SQL query. And there is a run SQL tool that actually executed that SQL query. And now we have some raw data from our MCP server, that is 45. Now my model has all the details and my model just converted that number, or you can say raw data, to some human readable format. That is 45 fraud alerts were confirmed as fraud last quarter. So you can see like from the single query or from the query itself, it just identify which tools it needs to be called. Okay, let's try with another query. So let's say now I am talking about some how many complaints do we have in each category. So now I'm talking about complaints. It should call something, it should call the tool which is responsible for getting the complaints analyst data. Okay. So let's see. Yeah. So Snowflake called the complaint analyst data, and we have uh, all the numbers from different complaints. Okay. So this is the beauty of MCP. You don't have to worry about what is going behind, or what are the tools, what is the data, what is the functionality running behind your MCP server or on the platforms. You just have to worry about what you will be needing from the system. Okay. Now, this is just one platform that we have connected. Now, let's say in future you have multiple platform. In our case, we have Databricks, or you have more. You can have more platforms as well. Okay, so let's see how it behave when you have multiple platforms. So this is the query, like something summarize what customers are saying about fees in their complaint. So here we are summarizing some information from the complaints, and also tell me a total transaction value over the last year. So this is also summarizing total transactions. So something like that. Let's see how the model or how your MCP works in this case and which tool it select to answer this query. Okay. So yeah, I need to use tool for this task, specifically this. Okay. So where it mentioned the tool. Okay, I think it is still analyzing. Let's wait for another minute. So this reasoning is actually coming from the models itself. Okay. So yeah, okay. Now it has selected the query spaces tool from the Databricks and another tool from the Databricks itself, the poll response. So basically, what query spaces is, it is actually building your query, and the MCP tool is returning some kind of executable queries format. Okay, and this poll response is just waiting. This tool is just waiting for the previous MCP results. So this is just a poll request tool. Okay, and the for the same query, we have Snowflake as well now. So from the Databricks, it gets some data. From the Snowflake, it just got some data. Okay, and here is the combined answer from the different platforms. This is the beauty of the MCP server. Still, you are not worrying about how it is getting the data. You are still just worrying about what you are asking and if you are getting the right results or not. That's it. Okay. So this way you can implement n number of platform. You can connect them. Your agent, your application will remain exactly like this only. So you just have to build the connection with your platforms. Okay, so whatever we have seen till now, we just did experiment using the admin full access. Now, let me clear this conversation. Now, let's say we have the junior analyst. Okay, junior analyst is asking the same question. Let me copy this the same again. How many fraud alerts did we confirm as fraud last quarter? So let's see how Snowflake or Databricks perform now. So we got an error. So this is like a expected thing because this user does not have any access to this tool at least. So this query needs bank analyst, but that user doesn't have access to that tool. So we just and we can see it doesn't have that access to that Snowflake tool, but it has access to some Databricks tools. So without sorry instead of using the bank analyst, it just uses the Databricks tool and just got the answer. So this is how you can create the security layers on different applications based on the role. So maybe you can also restrict the things on the Databricks as well for this user. But this is for demo purpose. I just want to show you that like how different tools can behave on based on the junior and based on the different roles. Okay, so this is it for the live demo. Okay, now moving forward, so this is again same like step one. We have nothing connected, and we just got empty results from the server. Then connected the Snowflake, and then we connected two platforms, and then we have switched the user to the restricted user. So everything that we have seen in the live demo, this is only that. So whatever we have seen till now, we just talk about like MCP can do this, MCP can do this, MCP can do this. But before going to production, there are few things that needs to be taken care. The very first thing is prompt injection. So whatever we are getting from any of the platform, any of the tool, that may contain the malicious instruction. So treat tool output as untrusted. Never trust the output on the tools. You just have to taken care before using any of the data that is returned by any of the tool. And another thing is tool exposure. As we discussed, you don't have to expose all the tools to all the users. You can just select which tool should be exposed to which user. Then before going to production, this is like very important point. You should check your account tire or the additions that you are using in your platform, because it might happen that your tools are limited to the addition you are using. So maybe you are expecting some tools to be called, but that may be restricted due to the account tire or the addition. Okay, so you should taken care of this as well. Then audit and monitoring that we discussed already. Some platform provide the audit and monitoring by itself, like Snowflake and Databricks, but for some platforms you have to implement by yourself. So log everything what you are calling. And last thing is latency. This is like very important. As we have seen, this is all up to the model, like which tool to call, and how many times that tool should be called. So this is all depend on the model, based on the query we are passing, or based on the results that it is getting from the tools. So latency may increase for different queries. So we can think of like, we can't say like latency, we can't commit the latency in such type of application. So latency may differ. Okay, all. And obviously these are not blockers, but these are some engineering normal engineering concepts that we should take care before going to any production. Okay. Now, the last thing only, how you should start building such type of applications. Okay, so my recommendation is start with small. Let's say pick a small data set that has high value impact data. Okay, and just build one or two agents with that. Expose it as a MCP server and test with that. So that is the only first step that you should take. If everything goes well, just test the denials before going to production. Once that is also tested, you can go ahead and expand your system. You can, after that, you can just add more agents, more tools, more platforms. So anything you can do after that. Okay, so start with the small and gradually increase. Okay, and the last line, yeah, the model was never the problem. As we discussed in the first slice, the model was never the problem. The wall between it and your data was. So MCP solved that problem. Okay, yeah, that is it from the today's webinar, or from the live demo. Okay, now I am open to any questions if you have any. Thank you.